Hello, welcome back. So in this second video, I'm going to tell you about the things that we will do together on the first day of classes. This is the class Contemporary European Cultural Studies. Now let me share the screen so I can tell you a little bit more about our first day together. Okay, here we are. Somehow the presentation, here we go. Okay, sorry, you were stuck. Okay, so the 9th of September, as you know, is our first day together. We will do together 2 units of class and 1 on demand. So class number 1, it's on demand. This means that you will be given some materials through Course Power. You will connect to Course Power and you will find out what to do. I'm also going to tell you about it in this video. And you will work on this individually. Then we will have a second unit together on Zoom, which is class 2. And then we will have a third one, class 3, also on Zoom. Each of these classes are 90 minutes, if you remember. Okay, so the theme of the first class is Introduction. Who decides what's culture and why should we study it? The second class will deal with the construction of Europe as a complex political and cultural entity. We'll speak more about the political than the cultural, but both of them are a little bit related, as you know. And then the last unit, we will deal with culture and the nation, and Europe and the nation. There will be 3 essential questions that we will try to address together. The first one, I already mentioned it before when I was introducing the first unit. Who decides what's culture and why should we study it? The second one, can Europe be considered a political object? And the last one, Europe, is it a transnational imagined community? So let's read a little bit more about what you will be doing on your first unit on demand, working individually. So you will go to websites 1, 2, and 3 below. You will have a copy of this presentation on Course Power. So everything you're seeing on the screen now, you will also be able to access through the presentation. So you go to website 1, website 2, website 3, you read the texts. There are short texts in each of them. And then you go to next slide and you answer the following questions. This unit is a unit in which we will start thinking a little bit about what does it mean to do cultural history, sorry. So we're going to learn a little bit about Raymond Williams, why was he important, and also what does culture mean? How do we define culture and how do you define culture? Remember when you answer these questions that you try to answer as detailed as possible. Do not just, if possible, write 1 sentence or 1 word. So try to write something a little bit elaborate. I understand that each of you has a different level of English, of first year, second year, third year, maybe master students. So depending on your level, your answer might be different, but try to give it a little bit of thought and also write that so that the discussion in class is more interesting. And this is an image that you can have a look at home on your own that gives you some factors that affect culture, and we will talk about it. Try to think as you go through this of some examples of how the environment can affect culture, or maybe how does technological innovation affect a culture or another, okay? Then also you will find in the presentation that will be shared with you on Course Power that in this slide, I have provided 2 extra websites. These are optional for all students unless you are a master student. Master students will be required sometimes, not always, I will indicate it, to pick up one of the extra sources that I will give you at the end of units and read them and do a short oral presentation in class. So you will probably maybe decide to read the first one and then tell the class about it. I read about this. I like this part of it. It made me think of this. So it's something very open, but it's just so that you go a little bit beyond and you share it with the class. In the class number 2, we'll get together on Zoom and finally we'll get to know you and you will get to see me in person. Well, not in person, but almost. And we're going to discuss the construction of Europe as a political entity. Now, for this, you need to prepare. When you have something like it says here in red, class preparation, that means that you should do the work the day before, ideally, or at least the morning before we meet. So this preparation work should be finished before we meet in class. Now, let me show you what the website is. So you come to the website and it will look something like this on each charges. Okay, here. So you come to this website, which I highly recommend for you to explore with a lot of things on European history. And you will go to the one that says political models since the modern era. You open it and then you choose one of these different texts. You read it, let's say socialism in Europe. And if you go to socialism in Europe, here we go, socialist and Europe. Then you see this is what it looks like, the text. It's relatively long, not too long, so it should be long enough for you to learn things, but not too long to be too difficult. You will read it, and then you will write a summary. That's how you prepare this part of the unit. Oh, sorry. Let me go back to the right slide and share again. Here we go. Okay, good. So that's the preparation for class 2. Then in the next, here we go. Oops, sorry. It's not working very well today, sorry. In the next slide, you will have the extra websites that I share with you always in case you want to read some more. And these are optional for everybody, but not for master students. So if you're a master student, you pick up one of those sources, you read it, and then you prepare a small paragraph that you can read to the class, or you can write notes and then just orally present it. It doesn't have to be too worked. So you can just do something orally from your notes and say, I read this, I really like this part, this is interesting, it made me think of this other stuff. Okay, all right. For the next unit, the last unit, oh, not working so well today, is it? Sorry, I don't know why it's not working from the computer. And when I pass with my fingers, here, there, okay. So for the unit 3 of class, the class preparation is reading the introduction to the book Imagine Communities by Benedict Anderson. Maybe some of you have already read Benedict Anderson. If not, it's always good to read it for the first time or reread it again. I'm going to ask you just to read the introduction so you get an idea of the general points that he makes in his book. And if you like it, you can, of course, read the whole thing, get it from your library and continue reading. For us, we just get a small taste and we'll try to learn a little bit about nations. Our nation, an imagined community, are they something else? And I will ask you, same thing, to make a summary of the reading's main ideas. This summary should be ready before we meet this day. So I insist your summary and your reading should be done before we get together for class 1, class 2, and class 3. So the morning before or the evening before, the day before. Okay, the last slide is this one, where you also have extra sources, and these are optional unless you are a master's student. So if you're a master's student, I'm going to ask you to read one of them. Now, let me explain a little bit more. If you're a master's student, you don't have to choose one for each class unit. You have to choose just one of the sources that I shared with you from class 1 or class 2 or class 3. If you want to do more than one, you're welcome to do so, and also to speak to the class about it. But at least let's say that every day you will do one extra source that you will prepare and that you bring to class. Okay, I think with this we're done. Let me go to the end of the presentation. Okay, so looking forward to meeting you all and to discussing these ideas together. If you have a question, do send me an email. There will be some time difference, so I might take some time to reply, but I will be happy to start the conversation and support you in any way I can. Okay, see you in class number 2 on Friday, the 9th of September. Au revoir.